Hello there. My name's Paul. I'm the data analyst at AutoGuru, and today I'm just going to give you a quick walkthrough through our Power BI fleet reporting suite. This is kind of the default package we put together for FMOs. Very configurable, but this is the basics. We're going to start with the booking detail page. We've got 8 pages to get through, hopefully about 30 seconds each, so we should be out of here in about 5 minutes. Let's start with the booking details page. Bookings are what we call fleet jobs at AutoGuru. And the first thing I have to say is that all the data you see on all 8 pages throughout this report is just dummy data. It's the prices aren't real, the shops aren't real, the dates aren't real. Just completely random data for sharing externally, for sharing publicly. So not real data. With that being said, let's talk about a few house rules for how these reports work. So first of all, where are the filters? The filters are over here on the right-hand side. So if, for example, you only wanted to see, bookings from a certain shop, you could sort of select that here. There we go. There's the bookings just for that shop. So any filtering you want to do over here on the right-hand side. And then anytime you see one of these tables that has a plus in it, that means you can sort of drill up and down. So here you're just seeing months, for example. If you sort of drill down, you'd see days, that sort of thing. And over here, the same sort of thing applies. So you're at the high level, you're looking at passenger or TPE vehicles. But if you drill down, you can sort of see a breakdown for cars and vans underneath passengers and so forth. So anytime you see a plus in a table, you've got that drill up and down capability. All right. And as for what this page shows you, we just got bookings, the booking value, whether it was auto approved or not. We'll talk about that in a little bit, and how many hours it took to complete the booking. All right, moving on. Booking maps. So still on bookings, just with a map now. So the first thing we can showcase here is this AUNZ, this sort of filter at the top. So if you want to jump between countries, that's how you do that. Fantastic. And the other thing to highlight here is how cross-filtering works. So anytime you click on any one of these tables, and that will update all the other things on the page. So for example, if we choose SA, the map will update, and as will this chart and all the other tables. So we're now just looking at SA bookings. And you can also sort of hold down control and sort of say, right, I just want to see SA bookings for cap price services, and that changed slightly as well. Not so much on the map, but down here. Or if we change over to SA bookings that were repairs, you see how those look. All right, so that's cross-filtering and maps. Moving on, booking tickets. So tickets are subcomponents of bookings. So things like repairs, services, and tires are what tickets can be. And here's the exact breakdown of what they can be. So non-custom repairs or custom services or non-custom services, and then tires. And here's the same sort of breakdown by asset category. We're looking at the green numbers are now median ticket values, not median booking values like we've been looking at so far, but same principle. And you can also see this breakdown by make and model. You can drill up to make, drill down to make a model where we were. Fantastic. Also by shop name. And if there's any tables here that you need, like some of our FMOs, for example, want FMO client here. See the breakdown by FMO client. That's another thing we can do. Anything you want to see here, we can add. And here are the ticket details down the bottom. One more level down is booking items. A very colorful page. So items are the level below tickets. They're things with prices and quantities. So either labor and parts, or tire-related items, right? And you can sort of see, for an example, illustration of here's a booking number that covers about 8 items. So I'll just sort of select those one by one so you can sort of see what I'm talking about. Right, and you can sort of see this one booking was made up of a cap price service and a repair, and within that there were some parts, there was some labor, and so on. So that's the sort of the breakdown from bookings to tickets to items, and this is the item summary here. Over here, you can sort of see the overall breakdown of all the items that have appeared in any of your bookings, and which were the most popular ones, and their rank order by popularity. And if you want to do that for, say, a particular month, that's easy enough to do. You could say, all right, let's just choose one month, the most recent month, for example, and there's your popularity by that month. All right, moving on. KPIs. So this is a completely different type of page. So up until now, it's been bookings, tickets, items, just looking at the components of bookings. KPIs is measuring your performance in terms of claiming and actioning the booking. So as the bookings come to your fleet controllers, they sit in a queue waiting to be claimed. And so the orange numbers are how long how many you're claiming from those queues and how efficiently that's happening. So the default SLA is 5 minutes. And these sort of ticks and lines are measuring what percentage were within your SLA of 5 minutes. That's very configurable. If you want some other number other than 5 minutes, we can help you out with that. And the jobs action, the blue numbers, is how many jobs were action, what you did with them, how you moved them on to the next status, whether that's approved or needs changes. Over here, we have the heat map, bunch of different metrics you can see on this heat map. Jobs submitted, 24 hours. Jobs claimed between 9 to 5, well, 6 to 6. Jobs actioned also between 6 and 6. And what you can do here is you can look at something like median minutes to claim job, right? And look at it week by week. So this week's pretty good. If we look at the next week, yeah, so you can sort of see this morning, Wednesday morning of this week, there was maybe some disruption that resulted in some slower claim times. So this is a sort of page where you can look at that sort of information. Automation. This is another thing that's sort of optional. You can turn it on or off and configure it in all sorts of ways. But automation revolves around the concept of business rules, right? So some business rules are price related, and any sort of price related business rules show up as blue. So if a booking was blocked from automation by a price rule, that's a blue. If it was blocked by some other rule, that's an orange. And you can see some examples of some of the other rules are things like, was it a previously completed service? Was it a previously completed repair? These are all very configurable. And if you have some unique ones of your own, we can work with you on that. But at the end of the day, after a booking has passed, price rules and the orange rules, everything else gets auto approved. And that's what you can see here. And you can sort of see it broken down by different price levels, different booking types, and so forth. The booking summary is aptly named. It's just a bunch of different concepts we've talked about so far. So how many bookings we've had, how many were auto approved is the green, how many were claimed within SLA is the orange, and how many were actioned within SLA is the blue. And this page is very configurable. The default is you see this chart by months and this table by weeks, but it's easy enough to flip that around. So now this table is by month and this chart is by weeks. And you can also drill down to a particular week within that month, particular days within that week. All right. And finally, tire and brake is an optional extra. You have the option as vehicles go to different workshops, we can measure their tire millimeters and brake millimeters. And this is a way to review those measurements. So because of the complexity of the different layouts and axle and wheel types, it's more of a kind of just a big list of all the measurements that you've taken. But one very interesting thing you can do is you can set this slider to be, let's say, 1.9. Yeah, okay, we can make it, say, 1.5. You can sort of type over here if you want. We can set this one to be 1.5. And now this page is only listing where the measurements has been below these thresholds. So these ones might be ones you want to pay particular attention to. Anyway, that's all I have for you. 9 minutes, not 5, but not bad. I'm Paul at autoguru.com.au. Thanks for your attention.